another solemn day. The first bodies recovered from the crash site of flight MH17 have arrived in the Netherlands. They were brought on 2 transport planes from the Ukrainian city of Kharkov. Paul Scott spoke to RT's Roman Kosarev at the scene of the tragedy, but first heard from Peter Oliver at the military airport where the victims were brought.
Well, 2 transport planes arrived here at Eindhoven Air Force Base, one from the Dutch Air Force, one from the Australian Air Force. They're operating in unison in what they're calling a air bridge mission, where they're to make sure that enough equipment and investigators get into Ukraine, and to make sure that all of the bodies of those who died on Malaysian Airlines Flight 17 are brought here to the Netherlands. What we did see, though, is just before the coffin started to be unloaded, a bugler played the last post on the bugle, followed by a minute's silence that, as you would imagine, was impeccably observed. Now, it's understood from talking to airport officials here that around 1,000 relatives of those who died on board that flight are here in attendance. Also in attendance, dignitaries from the Australian government. The Australian ambassador to the Netherlands is here. Also, King Willem-Alexander of the Netherlands and Queen Maxima, and also as well the Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte. Once those bodies are unloaded, they're going into funeral cars and are being driven to a military base near to the city of Hilversum. Now, that military base is the headquarters of the Dutch medical training for the army. Now, that's a facility that can handle such a large amount of bodies, and can try and go about initiating the identification process. We understand that will be a very long process. It will be done with the help of the Netherlands Forensic Institute, the NFI, regarded as one of the finest forensic laboratories anywhere in the world. They'll be helping with the ID process, which could take quite a long time. But it's been a very solemn day here in the Netherlands, a day of national mourning, flags across the country at half-mast. We did see a very solemn service take place here.
From Peter in Eindhoven to Roman in Ukraine. You're there, Roman. Still more than 100 victims in that site as well. How is the investigation progressing?
That's right. We are here at the crash site of Malaysian Airlines Flight 17, and according to the monitors from the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, there are still body fragments scattered here in the 20-kilometer radius of the crash site. Not all of them had been recovered. The OSC had been here on the ground starting from the second day after the crash, and Malaysian aviation experts have also arrived here 5 days after the crash, and that's when the investigation commenced. All the sides involved in this investigation, including the monitors, expressed satisfaction with the level of access that they got here, with the level of security, and Malaysian experts expressed gratitude in that regard as well. Meanwhile, Malaysian Prime Minister said he's not about to blame anybody for the crash of this Malaysian Airlines Flight 17 until concrete evidence is there. So he's waiting for the investigation to commence. Investigation had started, but it's a long way from finishing. Meanwhile, the black boxes that were recovered from this area are now in possession of UK authorities, and perhaps they will be able to shed some light as to what happened to MH17.